What if you could travel the world for free, get VIP perks, and build an amazing credit score all by choosing the right credit cards at the right age? Whether you're 18, 25, or beyond, this guide will show you how a small group of young people have figured out how to earn hundreds of thousands of points and take spectacular vacations before they're even done college. But first, why should you listen to me? Well, over the past 10 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of people save hundreds of millions of dollars by using credit cards in smart and creative ways. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you here today. I've split this video into 4 different age brackets, and in each of them, I'll explain what you should be prioritizing at that age, and I'll recommend a few specific cards. So let's start with the first age bracket, which is for everyone under 18. Technically, if you're under 18, you can't apply for your own credit card, but that doesn't mean you're completely cut off from the world of credit cards altogether, because what most people don't know is that teenagers under the age of 18 can be added as an authorized user on someone else's account. And this is how wealthy families often set their kids up for financial success, because most 18-year-olds have zero credit because they've never had access to any sort of credit facility before. This means that when they start climbing the credit card ladder, which I talk about in another video that I'll link to up here, they're starting at the very bottom and have to slowly work their way up. But what if you turned 18 and already had a strong credit score? How's that possible? It's simple. If your parents added you as an authorized user to their credit card when you were 15 or 16, then by the time you turn 18, you'll have inherited a strong credit history from your parents, and you'll be ready to apply for your own cards from a place of strength. And when you have a high credit score, you qualify for better cards with higher credit limits, lower interest rates, and better perks right from the start. It's a serious head start on building financial independence, and all it takes is a bit of planning earlier in life. Now, here's a crucial point. If you add someone as an authorized user onto your credit card, they aren't responsible for the debt. And if they make a large transaction, they're not legally obligated to pay it back. You are. For most of us, whether we're the parent or the child in this scenario, there's a level of trust there that means that this won't be an issue. But if you are adding someone as an authorized user and you're not sure if you can trust their spending habits, you can hack this in a simple way. Just don't give them the card. Instead, add them to your account so they inherit your positive credit history, but keep the card stored away so they can't use it. That way they'll still benefit from being tied to your account, but you don't take on the risk of them overspending. Now, when it comes to the specific age when you can add authorized users, the rules vary depending on the bank, but some are as low as 13 years old, which means an 18-year-old could be getting their first credit card with 5 years of positive credit history under their belt. And it's hard to overstate how much of an impact this can make on a young person's life, because they're getting a 5-year head start over 99% of their peers. But now let's talk about fees. A lot of credit cards don't charge annual fees for authorized users, but some more premium cards do. But still, the fee for an authorized user is generally less than the primary user and might be something like $50 or $100 if it's not completely free. Now, how many cards should someone under the age of 18 have? Well, one card is usually more than enough, but it is worth thinking about which card to add them to. Ideally, you want to choose a card with a high credit limit and a low utilization ratio, which means most of the credit available on the card is not being used. You can add them to a second card as well, but that won't necessarily provide any more value, and generally, one card is enough. When it comes to goals, the person under 18 should focus on learning how credit cards and interest payments work and develop the habit of always paying the balance in full. Then, by the time they're old enough to get their own card, they'll know exactly how to manage it responsibly without getting into any debt. And so with that said, let's move on to age bracket number 2, which is 18 to 21-year-olds. So whether you're in college or stepping into your first job, one thing is probably true. You don't have a lot of money. And maybe you're thinking, if I just got a credit card, it would make it easier to cover my expenses. But let me stop you right there. No. Credit cards are not for spending more money than you can afford to pay. You need to pay your balance in full every month. Period. Because at this stage in your life, the last thing you want to do is rack up credit card debt, which snowballs very quickly. Now, if you were added as an authorized user before you turned 18 and you've already got a strong credit score, you can jump straight into mid-tier or premium tier credit cards, which I explain in this video up here. But for the vast majority of people who are starting with no credit score, your best options at this age are going to be beginner tier cards. The good news is, even if you're getting your first ever credit card, you don't actually need to start off with a student card or a secured card, despite what most people think. Instead, you can skip those less valuable cards entirely and get a card that'll help you significantly more. Again, I talk about that at length in that other video, so I'll link to it up here again in case you want to learn how to start earning a ton of points as someone who's brand new to credit cards. Now, your goal at this age is to build your credit and position yourself for getting higher value cards, because the reality is it'll generally take you 6 to 12 months to become eligible for mid-tier cards and another 6 to 12 months after that to become eligible for premium tier cards. And it might be faster or slower than this, there's no hard fast rule, but the one thing you absolutely do want to do is get a credit card as soon as you can. It doesn't necessarily need to be on your 18th birthday, but it should be within a few weeks, because the sooner you get get your first card, the sooner you'll move up the food chain and start getting the cards that will drastically improve your quality of life. In terms of the number of cards you should have at this age, 1 is generally enough, and I'd say you should get 2 at most. And as always, make sure you aren't abusing your access to credit. Pay off your statement balance in full every month, because if you don't, the interest you pay is funding someone else's rewards. And when it comes to specific cards, I can recommend a few. The first one is the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite card, which gives you 1.5 Aeroplan points per dollar spent on groceries, gas, and Air Canada purchases, and 1 point per dollar on everything else. It also comes with travel perks like a free first check bag on Air Canada flights and access to preferred pricing on Aeroplan redemptions with an annual fee of $139. A second option is the Scotia Momentum Visa Infinite card, especially if you prefer to receive cashback instead of points. The Scotia Momentum Visa Infinite gives you 4% cashback on groceries and recurring bill payments, 2% cashback on gas and transit, and 1% cashback on everything else. Now, you'll only receive that cashback once a year, which is kind of annoying, but its $120 annual fee is waived for that first year, which is a nice bonus. But if you're looking for the best card at this age, there's no doubt that it's the American Express Cobalt card. When you're choosing your first few credit cards, you really want to pay close attention to earn rates, and the Cobalt card offers the best earn rates of any card in Canada. 5 points per dollar spent on groceries, dining, and food delivery, 2 points per dollar on travel and transit, and 1 point per dollar on everything else. And when you redeem those points for flights, they're generally worth around 2 to 3 cents a point, which means you're earning 10 to 15% on all your food and drink purchases, which is incredibly high. Plus, the Cobalt card comes with a welcome bonus of up to 15,000 points, which is enough for a round-trip flight between 2 relatively close cities like Toronto and New York. And because the Cobalt card's fee is charged monthly instead of annually, there's virtually no risk in applying for the card. So if you want my recommendation, go with the Amex Cobalt card. Its earn rates are the best by far, and it sets you up perfectly for upgrading to even better cards where you'll get better perks, higher rewards, and a whole new world of travel benefits. I've left links to all my recommended cards in the description below, and with that in mind, it's time to move on to the third age bracket, which is 22 to 25-year-olds. So let's suppose now that you're entering the workforce and starting to make a decent income. And as your income grows, your credit card choices should reflect that growth, which means you want to upgrade to a card that better reflects where you're at in life. And specifically at this age, your focus should be on finding cards with sign-up bonuses that are well in excess of their annual fees. The absolute minimum you should look for is a card with a sign-up bonus that's worth at least double its annual fee. So if the annual fee is $200, you need a welcome bonus that's worth at least $400. But ideally, you want to find a card with a welcome bonus that's worth 5x its annual fee or more. There aren't many of these out there, but they do exist, and I'll show you one in particular in a second here. But first, one thing I want to point out here is that the annual fees on the cards I'm about to share may be higher than you expect, but that's because if you want to get big welcome bonuses with a lot of perks, you do need to pay more. The key is in finding the cards that offer a lot more in points and benefits than you pay in fees. And this would take quite a bit of time if you were to do all the research by yourself, so let me just tell you which cards you should be thinking about. First is the Scotiabank Platinum American Express card, which comes with a welcome bonus of up to 80,000 Scene Plus points. Scene Plus points are worth anywhere from 2/3 of a cent to 1 cent per point, which means 80,000 Scene Plus points are worth somewhere between about $500 to $800. You earn 2 Scene Plus points per dollar spent on the card, and it doesn't charge any foreign transaction fees, which will save you around 2.5% on all purchases made in foreign currencies. You also get 10 complimentary airport lounge visits a year, which is more than enough for most people. And when you compare the card's annual fee of $399 to its welcome bonus worth $500 to $800, you can see that you do come out slightly ahead based on the welcome bonus alone. A second option is the RBC Avion Visa Infinite Privilege, which carries a welcome bonus of up to 70,000 Avion points. Avion points are worth 1.5 to 2 cents a piece, which means those 70,000 points are worth about $1,000 to $1,400. On top of that, you earn 1.25 Avion points per dollar on all your purchases, and the card comes with a few different travel perks like priority boarding and special benefits at luxury hotels. Like the Scotia Platinum Amex, the annual fee on the RBC Avion Visa Infinite Privilege is $399, but when you compare it to the welcome bonus worth $1,000 to $1,400, it's still a good deal. And the third card we need to talk about is the American Express Gold Rewards card, which comes with a welcome bonus of up to 60,000 membership rewards points. Membership rewards points are worth 2 to 3 cents a piece, which means the welcome bonus alone is worth $1,200 to $1,800, which is really strong. And with the Amex Gold card, you'll earn 2 membership rewards points per dollar spent on groceries, gas, travel, and drugstores, and 1 point per dollar on everything else. Plus, you also get 4 airport lounge passes a year and other travel perks like Nexus statement credits. The Amex Gold carries a $250 annual fee, but it comes with an annual travel credit of $100 a year, so the effective annual fee is really just $150. And when you compare the welcome bonus worth $1,200 to $1,800 to the effective annual fee of just $150, you're getting a 10x return with this card, which is pretty wild. Now, a few minutes ago, I said that the Amex Cobalt is the best card for you if you're between the ages of 18 to 21. And if you're being really savvy here, what you do is get yourself an Amex Cobalt first, rack up a ton of points through its super high earn rates, and then level up to the Gold card where you'll get a ton more points through the welcome bonus. The gold card alone gives you up to 60,000 points, which is enough for a round trip flight between Canada and Europe, and you can double that pretty easily with the Cobalt card, which means 2 trips to Europe. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about when I say we're thinking strategically here. You want to think not just about how to get one card, but how to build an ecosystem of cards. That's really the focus here. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here is that when you upgrade to one of these cards, you don't need to cancel the cards you already have, and you actually shouldn't, because one component of your credit score is length of credit, which means how long you've had your oldest credit card for. If you keep upgrading to new cards and canceling your old cards, your credit score may take a dip, which will make it harder to get better and better cards. So holding on to your existing cards and adding 1 or 2 more at this age makes sense, giving you 2 or possibly 3 cards in total. The other great thing about having multiple cards is that you can be a lot more strategic. You're no longer relying on a single card's reward structure, so you can spend strategically so that you get the best bang for your buck. For example, if you're like me and you get yourself an Amex Cobalt card and an Amex Gold card, you can use your Cobalt card to get 5 times the points on your groceries and dining spending, but then use the Gold card to get 2 times the points on your travel spending. This way, you're earning more with every dollar without changing your spending habits at all. And now, it's time for our last age bracket, which is 26 and up. Once you hit 26 or so, life really starts to accelerate. You're a few years into your career, you're earning more, and you're almost certainly traveling more frequently to more exotic destinations. Annual trips to Europe or Asia might be in the cards for you, or maybe you work remotely and travel for months every year. That's why at this stage, the focus really shifts to premium cards that offer high-level travel perks. So let's look at a few of those now. The first one is the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege card. With the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege, you'll earn 2 Aeroplan points per dollar on gas, groceries, dining, and Air Canada purchases, and 1.25 points per dollar on everything else. It's got a welcome bonus of up to 60,000 Aeroplan points, and it offers a few nice travel benefits as well, including priority check-in, boarding, and baggage handling on Air Canada flights, and a free first check bag for you and your travel companions. Plus, you also get access to Maple Leaf Airport lounges. The annual fee on this card is $599, though the welcome bonus alone is worth 2 to 3 times that. The second card to consider is the American Express Aeroplan Reserve card, which takes the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege I just mentioned to the next level. The Amex Aeroplan Reserve card earns 3 Aeroplan points per dollar on Air Canada purchases, 2 Aeroplan points per dollar on dining and food delivery, and 1.25 Aeroplan points per dollar on everything else. Its welcome bonus generally sits around 75,000 Aeroplan points, and it comes with a similar set of benefits as the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege, including priority boarding, free first check bag, and unlimited Maple Leaf lounge access for you and a guest. You also get access to the American Express concierge, and with the same $599 annual fee, I personally think of the Aeroplan Reserve card as a sort of upgraded version of the CIBC card, since it offers a better welcome bonus at the same cost. But this list wouldn't be complete without the American Express Platinum card, which most people agree is the best travel credit card in Canada. The welcome bonus on the Platinum card is generally around 100,000 points, which means it's worth $2,000 to $3,000. The card earns 2 points per dollar on dining, food delivery, and travel, and 1 point per dollar on everything else, so you can rack up points pretty quickly. You get elite status with Marriott Bonvoy and Hilton Honors, which gets you room upgrades and late checkout, and you also get free breakfast and a handful of other benefits with fine hotels and resorts. You get access to the Platinum Concierge, and my favorite benefit of all, unlimited airport lounge access at more than 1,000 lounges worldwide. The annual fee on the Platinum card is $799, but you get a $200 annual travel credit and a $200 annual dining credit, which reduces the effective annual fee down to just $399. And so if it didn't make sense to you earlier, I think you can see now how much more value you can get out of the premium cards than you do from the cards you'll have earlier in life. We started off talking about how to save a few bucks here and there. Now we're talking about cards that offer all sorts of hotel perks and unlimited airport lounge access around the world. Now, assuming you've held on to the 2 to 3 cards that you already had, adding one more here certainly won't hurt. And the goal is to leverage all the points you get from these cards to enhance your quality of life. You'll very likely have a 6-figure points balance by this time, which is enough to fly you anywhere in the world. And that's what it's really all about, having the freedom to go where you want, when you want. If you use them in the right way, credit cards can give you that freedom. And for the rest of your life, you'll be grateful that you took the time to understand the credit card game at such an early age. So now you know exactly which credit cards you should have at what age. But there's something else you need to know if you really want to take things to the next level. Because even with the best cards in your wallet, if you're not using the right strategy, you're going to get left behind. That's why I've put together a simple 3-step system for building a massive points balance that will get you free flights, hotel stays, and a whole lot more. So to learn exactly how that system works and how you can take a round the world trip practically for free, watch this video next.